So why is brand identity important? Now imagine your name is Tariq, but everyone calls you Fadi. Or better yet, imagine your parents did not give you a name. So a brand identity is exactly as I'm just saying, it is what gives the brand identity. Okay? So just imagine you are walking in the street and you have no name. By which name are people going to call you? How are people going to recognize you? Or if someone is calling you, how would you know it's you? You would know that from your name, right? Because somebody called your name. So the same logic applies to branding. Now the different steps that people need to go through to achieve the ultimate are that first they need to recognize their brand. And this is what we mean by exactly brand identity. So when you have an identity, you have to recognize your brand so that they can try it. Okay? So if you do not have a brand, people cannot try your product. So people need to recognize it, then they need to try it. Then they need to associate with it. So here it is when they start to actually like your brand. It is when they are tasting, for instance, your cheese and they think, that's not bad as a cheese, or I could go with that cheese, or I could eat that cheese. Okay? So they need to associate with that brand. Then they start to appreciate it. There has to be a kind of not a respect, but more of a trust and appreciation. Because once they see, for instance, that the service you are providing is very important, or that the prices, you are not ripping them off with your prices, etc., they will start to appreciate the brand. Then they need to become loyal to the brand. But becoming loyal to the brand does not mean that they necessarily love the brand. Okay? Maybe you become loyal to a brand because it is the best brand among the competitors, but it is not the brand that you actually associate with. Okay? Or maybe it's not the brand you aspire to have in your life. So becoming loyal to a brand is key, okay? But it doesn't reach the highest level of commitment to the brand. The highest level is obviously love. People need to love your brand. People need to say, oh, did you try the new, BMW? Oh, I love it. It's perfect. Or just say, I just love BMW, okay? I just love it for the statement it makes, for the way it makes me feel. When I'm driving a BMW, or when I'm driving an Audi, a Porsche, or any other type of car, it is the way that I am feeling in this car, not the fact that the brakes are good, or the ignition is perfect, etc. It's not about the technical details. At the first point, maybe we look at those, but eventually we forget about those, and then we look more for the lifestyle that this brand is giving us. This is the golden triangle, where you have the promise, the positioning, and the perception. When we talk about the promise, it is you vis-a-vis your customers. It is what your brand is promising your customers to deliver. Okay, so let's take a look at the promise. It is, as I was saying, what your brand promises to deliver. So is it fast? Let's say you're a courier service, okay? People expect you maybe, or you say, you promise to be fast, okay? Let's say you're a grocery store, you would say that you are fresh. Let's say you are a software company, you would say that you are high-tech, etc., etc. So the promise is what the brand promises to deliver to the customer. The positioning is how your brand compares to the competition, to the direct competition. So when we say, for instance, when we take two courier services, which one is faster? If you're saying, if your brand promise is that you are fast, but then you have the competitor in front of you who is faster, okay, then your positioning is not in line with your promise, okay? So your positioning is how your brand compares to your competition. Are you faster? Are you fresher? Are you truly organic? Are you greener? Etc. Now the perception is how your customers view your brand. So it is how they see you. Do they see you as fast? Do they see you as fresh? Do they see you as organic? So are they in line? Is their perception in line with your promise to them? And ultimately, you hit the jackpot when promise, positioning, and perception align. So when you have your promise that is equal to your positioning in the market, that is equal to people's perception, this is when you are truly, truly successful as a brand. Small exercise that I would like you to do is, I would like you to see what your promise is, what your positioning is, and finally, how do your customers perceive you? And once you align those, but be honest in the answers to those. And if you think that you are aligned on all, then you are fine. If you think that the perception is not equal to the promise, then maybe there is something you need to work on.